In more local news, several communities around the Virgin Islands are reeling under another seaweed invasion. The floating brown seaweed originates from the Sargasso Sea in the North Atlantic Ocean. Not many people are spared from the hard-hitting pungent ammonia gas emanating from the decaying marine algae found on beaches and shorelines throughout the tropics worldwide. The Virgin Islands is getting more than its fair share. In fact, residents of Virgin Gorda are having a difficult time coexisting with this uninvited guest, and so too is the marine life. When we visited Handsome Bay on Thursday of this week, after receiving complaints about the pipe-borne water coming from the desalination plant in the area, we were also told that the plant has had to cease operations at different times. But we also saw an alarmingly high number of dead fish scattered along the shoreline and a whole lot more floating in the water. As it turned out, our videographer Shevin Dash also captured Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Labor, Ronald Smith Berkeley, observing the seaweed invasion from a distance. This is Handsome Bay, Virgin Gorda, and the desalination plant is located in this area. Now, with me is Mr. Sandy Flax. He is, of course, one of the veteran fishermen in the area, and he knows pretty much about the impact of the waves and so forth. You were telling me earlier that the pollution of the potable water here in Handsome Bay is starting from way out, and you believe that the lines would have to go beyond where they are now.
Yeah, they're like approximately 250 to 300 feet out. If the lines go further out to maybe about 700 feet at present, they'll be avoiding the contaminated water by the seaweeds.
Sandy, you think this is normal? Because we have heard from some of the experts in the field that this is a normal occurrence and it's okay to see the seaweed coming in and we shouldn't really trouble the seaweed, we shouldn't harvest it. But is this normal for you?
No, it's not normal. I've been a fisherman from when I was 10 years old. We only accustomed to seeing this seaweed in late August, early September for a month to 3 weeks. This seaweed been actually present now for the last 3 years to 3.5 years.
Sandy, we are on the coastline now, on the beach itself, and we are seeing dead fish in the water.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's a lot of fish. All the white we're seeing on the water, that's how the fish died and turned upside down. That's telling me that it is toxin. Fish don't die if it's a natural thing.
Well, it's interesting because the Conservation and Fisheries Department suggested that the seaweed situation is natural and it provides a habitat for marine creatures. But here we are seeing that marine life, they are dying.
Yeah, that's because I think because of the amount of the seaweed in this particular area. And little that I know, this here is supposed to be also be protected, a protected area. That's why we have so much of dead fish. But I think the department need to look into it more in detail. And if they check the history, this will show them that this never ever happened.
Let's look at the tourism aspect of things. Of course, you're involved in the tourism industry as well. What sort of impact is this having on the tourism sector here in Virgin Gorda?
Well, the only good thing about it is in Virgin Gorda, 95% of the time, the winds come from the east. So only the eastern parts of the island is contaminated with it, but it carries a high stench in which we smell all throughout the island. When the winds change in December and January and they come out the west, last year and the year before, this seaweed will come onto the beaches on the west side, like for Fisher's Cove, Little Dix Bay, Nickel Island, Levericks Bay, and even Oil Nut Bay. And it's a lot of seaweed has to be removed from these beaches, and all these beaches are in the tourist area.
Now, we just access this particular area quite easily. I know that heavy equipment can come in here. Do you think this is something that the government, the relevant authorities can use to remove much of the seaweed from off the shoreline?
Yes, but the government, I think what they did is they wait for too much of seaweed to accumulate. And now it seems to them to be a problem to move it.
Yeah.
But I think if they move it, they spend the money and they move it, and then they maintain it, like every day or every 2 days, we would not have this problem that we have at present. Prevention is, like I say, is better than cure. If you have all these dead fish,
Yes.
eventually it's going to get to us.
Sandy, as I talk with you and I'm glancing on the side, I'm seeing more and more evidence of the dead fishes floating around. I actually thought a while ago it was just a few here or there, but as you said, looking further down, now that I can identify what I'm seeing in front of me here, and I look all the way down towards the desalination plant area, I can see evidence of dead fish.
Yeah. Yes, and as you can see, they're in abundance. That's not a good sign.
Sandy, again, more evidence of the fish kill in this area. Tell us about some of the different species that we're looking at.
Okay, further over in the corner, we have what we call a hedgehog, blowfish. Then we come up a little further, we'll find hind, good too. We also have a cornel right here. Then if you come back over here, you see a lot small parrotfish. You also have a lot of moray eels and also a couple of small old white fish. And again, over here is much more eels. I don't think this is a natural problem that's occurring here. Again, like I say, it's something that we can deal with. And if we don't take care of it ASAP, we'll probably lose one of the more healthier national parks here in the British Virgin Islands.
And of course, this is just the surface we're looking at. We don't know what's underneath the different layers of the seaweed.
Yeah, and that's a good point there also. And at the same time, there's a lot of what we call high heads, that's reef, where we also know that this is a very rich conch area and lobster. But it's national park, so we don't use this area much, but we know that it's very rich with this other stuff here. So if all these fish are dead, probably there's more under the reefs and stuff that haven't floated out as yet.
So even though the seaweed is not affecting the pristine beach areas right now on Virgin Gorda, the tourism industry is still being affected in terms of the fish available, which of course serves even more than just visitors. It's part of the, the food and the culture of the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, most of the fish we see in here is culture fish, because they're like the good tools which we love to use with mayonnaise sauce and steam and fry with Johnny cakes and stuff like that. This is more the local cuisine types of fish, but it's really alarming, and I think that we as a people should pay more attention to it and try to come up with areas in which we can protect this environment, this very lively environment.
In August of this year, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Labour said the sargassum seaweed has many benefits and advantages to fisheries in the Virgin Islands. Deputy Chief Conservation and Fisheries Officer Mervyn Hastings said the sargassum provides a nursery for many species of fish and, similar to a mangrove system, serves as nurseries for fish, crab, turtles and other marine creatures.